What do you understand when you hear state capitalism and free markets?
Labda ueleze kwanza ndio nijue.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are in Kisumu County. I'm only here with one question. Between state capitalism and the free markets, which one is better? Just sort of find my way. Alright, let's just start with some definitions. So, state capitalism is an economic system in which the state plays a dominant role in directing, owning, or controlling major resources in an economy. And in the free markets, this is an economic system where the prices, production, and distribution are determined by private individuals. That, i.e., that could be me or you. When we decide to set up our kiosk, we're allowed to sell our things at whatever prices we're going to sell them for. But on the other end, in state capitalism, the government can decide that the prices of milk in an entire region. So now, I guess we can open it up to everybody else. Let's go talk to some Kisumu people.
Both sounds like extremes to me.
Extremes?
Yes.
Which one is a better extreme for you?
None.
Between state capitalism and the free markets, which one do you think is better for our society?
Actually, I think they both work for the society, but it depends in which aspect.
I think free market is the better between the two.
Why?
As much as free markets tends to be expensive for certain products, usually get the best of a certain industry. You get the best of the best. If it's transport, it's the best modes of transport. If it's healthcare, it's the best mode of care because they kind of specialize.
A cocktail will be best in this way, yes. Yeah, because now there are sectors that are not competing, that are not competing favorably in the market, number one. So and then secondly, there are sectors that are not solving the citizens' problems.
Mbona private?
Kwa sababu mwenyewe anaweza amua bei yake. Lakini ile sasa ya government ikishaamua kama ni 200, lakini sasa kwa sababu ya biashara inaweza kuwa juu ama irudishe chini. Unaona mtu binafsi akisema shilingi 500 na mwingine naye afungue yake huko, itabidi tena aweke bei ya chini ndio watu waende huko. Sasa huyu naye itabidi areteremshe yake chini. Haitakuwa standard hivyo. Itabidi kwa sababu hata hakuna otherwise.
Yes. What would I prefer? A mixed model that allows that where you look at a case by case situation.
Fully against free markets.
Fully against private property.
Alright, you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to own anything in this country that she lives in, she will chase you. What about people who say that it's discriminatory? When we're existing in a free market, if you have 1 million shillings and I have 100 shillings, we don't get access to the same things. We can't compete on the same level.
Well, work hard and get your 1 million shilling so that you can.
How am I working hard with my 100 shillings? Is that enough capital to do what your 1 million shilling can do?
Well, I mean, the system is unfair to some point, but if it works for me, maybe somehow, eventually it will work for you. Eventually, at one point or the other in time. But as of this point, if it's working for me and I'm comfortable, I think I'm going to go with the free markets.
You agree that some industries should be left to the free markets and some should be left to the state to run, yeah? So how do we, and this is on the side of state capitalism, how do we make sure that the people who are making the laws are not using those laws for their own benefits, for their own personal benefits, and it's for the benefit of the nation? How are we able to keep that in check?
Number one, I don't trust governments. Governments say that will not interfere, but they eventually do interfere. If you say that, and we all know that governments are mostly the minority and the privileged minority, right? Who's to say, as we have seen in multiple instances around the world, that this elite minority will not make decisions that are in their own interests and disguise them as the state's interest, while at the same time ignoring the actual interest of the people. That's anarchist, to be honest, because that's an anarchist. And I mean anarchist in the most positive way, where there's no central authority and the people are governing themselves, right?
But it's not really people are governing themselves. It's just that people can do business by themselves.
That's governing yourself.
But
you're governing yourself within the business space.
Within the business space.
I am in support of the privatization plan, but now there are a lot of legal loopholes that may lead us to situations where we lose the whatever will be gotten from the liquidation of these assets.
Now we just have to ask ourselves why the government is privatizing.
Why do you think they're privatizing?
Because we are doing history 2.0, right? This happened in the 90s with SAP's structure adjustment programs, right? Where the World Bank and the IMF and whatever give you money. It's stolen by all your politicians. And now, so that because you can't pay it back, they start telling you the shit you need to do with your country. So either you pay them back or they make sure you remain in the debt situation paying their interest.
Capitalism, abash patriarchy, abash imperialism, abash colonialism, abash the white supremacists.
When we privatize, see, there is more innovation in the private sector. Would you agree there is more innovation when it comes to the private sector than in maybe when a government is owning, say, a big company? The innovation speed is slower than how it would look like in a private sector. Think about the iPhone.
It's to ask that why is it that when the government owns, why does it fail? Is to ask, but also to wonder that iPhone could be owned by private property, but who are the people that make iPhone? Do they benefit from that iPhone?
How do we decide what should be run by government and what we should leave to the private sector?
Which one work best when left to the people, and which ones work best when they are controlled centrally? If you've built a government with integrity and trustworthy institutions, then such industries then can be left to be centralized. So see what tuna account like, okay, go, all right, as long as Wetangula won't take it to Dubai.
Okay.
So now that's how I'm going to answer you as a CEO. It's about performance. How are these, like for example, Kenya Pipeline? What is the potential of Kenya Pipeline? And how is it performing? If it is maximizing its potential, then there is no need of liquidating it. You know? Then there are institutions that have had problems like over the years, systemic problems, like Kenya Airways, for example. I believe Kenya Airways should be 100%
Privately owned?
Yeah, privately owned.
Socialistic society?
Yes, more power to socialism, more power.
How do we cushion the people in the society who don't have access to the resources that other people have, like the haves and the have-nots? How do we cushion the have-nots?
Well, I think I'm going to contradict myself here, but the free markets will exist in a society or in a nation where there's a government or sort of something like that.
So are you for privatization or are you for the government just keeping these industries?
You want to nab me, right?
I mean, I want you to back what you said.
Oh, you want me to?
I want you to stand on what you said. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Kidogo.